In the past 6 months, I have pretty much doubled my audience on this YouTube channel, but a lot of this has actually come from my walking videos. So unfortunately, you guys haven't been here from the beginning, man. Like, you have not been here for all the story times when I talk about my life, my upbringing, everything. So today, it's going to be an extremely fun, exciting video, just pretty much just talking about my entire story from my childhood up until who I am today, because I'm always telling you guys, like, literally, you can change your life, you can change your looks, your genetics, and pretty much create whatever life that you really want to. And a lot of people, they see me now, like, living in cool countries, traveling all over the world, 6'6", looking the way I do, and they think, oh, he's just born with that, maybe it's family money, whatever it is. Today, I'm going to be disclosing everything, man, all of the truth. So without further ado, let's get it. Fun fact of the day, and probably why I'm actually drawn to a more free lifestyle and why I lived on an island for 3 years, is I grew up on a farm, man. Up until the ages of 8 or 9, I had a very healthy upbringing. I was a very healthy kid, no issues, I was very social, and overall, I had a very good childhood, and I grew up on 300 acres. It was an awesome time up until my parents got divorced around the age of 8 or 9. Then we moved into the city. I started going to this bigger school, and the thing is, at this previous school, like, I was the cool kid, I had tons of friends, everything, but then in this new school, there was all these kids, they naturally had six-packs, they were a lot more social, a lot more outgoing, and they came from money. Like, I went to a school where whenever you turn 16, these kids' parents bought them like a brand new $50,000 sports car. Like, that's the type of school I went to when I bought my first car, which was a Honda Accord, just straight cash, $3,000 from money I saved up ever since I was 12 years old. But this was my upbringing, man. And ever since moving to the city as a kid, this actually develops a bit of an eating disorder for me. I started having some difficulties with my mental health from a young age, and this triggered me to just start gaining weight. I would start eating to try to fill this void inside of me and just kind of numb a little bit of the pain, man. Like, I remember, like, after this, I really did not enjoy too much my childhood. I started fantasizing, actually, about becoming an adult. I really had not that many friends growing up, and I just had a very difficult time socializing with other people until I got older. So yeah, essentially, I had this very awkward childhood. I was overweight, and some kids would try to mess with me. Some kids would try to bully me because I had these man boobs, and people would try to bean dip me by flicking my boobs. Very embarrassing, but that's kind of the story, man. But this all kind of came to a close at the age of 13. This was the age where I eventually asked out my childhood crush. Like, I was really into this one girl for 2 years. We were best friends. We told each other everything. And then eventually I told her at the age of 13, I said, hey, I have feelings for you. I want you to be my girlfriend. And she shut me down. She only saw me as a brother, nothing more. But this is what kind of triggered the self-improvement, the obsessiveness inside my brain ever since I was very young, and maybe just feeling like I'm not good enough. But overall, it made me really obsessed. So after that, I got obsessed with losing weight. I started doing every single protocol possible from the age of 13 to try to lose the weight, try to become as attractive as possible. This is actually whenever I picked up basketball and started playing basketball 8 hours every single day, because my parents, they were very strict. Like, my parents would get mad at me whenever I would diet and try to lose weight, because my parents had a belief that if I was fat, it would actually help me grow taller, which is a myth. I actually grew taller after I started doing my own protocols. But Mom and Dad, I love you, just not the best belief system. And the basketball helped tons with losing the weight. It helped a lot with toning up. But the issue was, I started losing all the weight, but I still did not have abs, which was my original goal. My face wasn't getting super defined. I was just kind of developing like this skinny fat physique, but at the same time, I was doing a lot of lookmaxxing protocols. I was doing the bone smashing as a very young teenager. I just got my braces off. Yes, I had braces. I actually had a device in my mouth that moved my bottom jaw forward by 1/2 inch to 1 inch completely changing my facial structure and making me probably a lot more attractive than I would have been had I never done anything. And then I got really into teeth whitening, skincare, hair care, eyebrows, plucking, everything. This is when I started watching Alpha M as a teenager, just getting really obsessed with all the stuff, fashion, everything. I pretty much had everything except the physique and except the height at this point, but I did do tons of optimizations to where I had a pretty attractive face, man. But things did not really change until 17. This is when I got health obsessed. You guys always think that I'm talking about high growth protocols, or when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with getting tall, all this stuff. No, man. My obsession was with health. My brother actually got me into this, and one obsession just kind of led to another, and this phase was probably the most productive phase for my growth possible. So ever since I would think it was the age of 15, my brother got me to start drinking raw milk. I actually started drinking the raw milk before I started doing exercising, things like this. I was drinking the raw milk every single day, 1 gallon, for roughly 1 to 2 years before I even started exercising. And I kind of gradually leaned into the health stuff. Like at first, I was just adding the raw milk into my usual daily routine, and then eventually I got more and more obsessed and got even healthier, like only ate the grass-fed meat, only got raw organic nuts, only got wild caught fish, all of this stuff. And yes, this stuff was very expensive. For me, the raw milk was actually the cheapest. It was $5 a gallon, so every single week I would buy 7 gallons, so 35 bucks a week or $140 a month, which isn't too bad. Like some people are telling me they're paying like way more just for the raw milk, and that's pretty insane. So I kept doing the raw milk, trying to get healthier gradually, and then I started doing body weight exercises from the age of 17. This is when every single day, Monday through Friday, my brother forced me to go outside into the freezing cold. It was like 0 degrees Celsius at the time, freaking crazy weather. And we would literally get shirtless and start doing pull-ups, push-ups, and sprints in the middle of winter. It was crazy, but I think it actually had tons and tons of benefits. So we were getting cold exposure, we were doing high intensity cardio, getting the sprinting, which is going to boost the HGH. We were getting natural sunshine, even through the clouds and everything. And we were doing lots of really good body weight exercises, not putting any compression on the spine, while drinking the raw milk, while optimizing everything. And this is when I really got obsessed with sleeping. Like I had that philosophy that I need to sleep like a lion, getting 9, 10 hours of sleep every single night. And this is when I randomly shot up, man. This is when I randomly went from 5'9" to that 6'4" that you guys are all very familiar with. And it happened by complete accident, because I was just optimizing my health, trying to be as healthy as possible. That was the byproduct of it. Looking back, I can guarantee you there was nobody else even close to what I was doing. Drinking the gallon of raw milk, only getting wild caught fish, only eating grass-fed organic steaks, only eating pasture-raised eggs, raw grass-fed cheese, butter, like literally the healthiest stuff you can think of. And by the way, I was affording all of this with my own money. I was also an employee at a frozen custard shop that I eventually worked my way to becoming the manager, where I would spend every single cent that I made after I bought my first car just on food, just on optimizing my health. This is how obsessed I was. So if you were really serious about it, I'm telling you, man, I would seriously consider getting your own job as early as you can and investing in yourself, investing in your health, investing in your knowledge, freaking everything. And then this gradually actually changed into fitness. Like it evolved into an obsession with bodybuilding, where I slowly dropped off the health obsession and it all became about aesthetics, physiques. Like I wanted to look like Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. This was my obsession, which is why I started growing out my hair. I got as big and as lean as possible, and I got a physique very similar to Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. And this actually nailed me my first male modeling contract, still as a teenager. And this is actually why I moved to South Florida and was actually modeling in Florida for a little bit before running out of money and having to actually moved back to my hometown once again. And I just kind of had this philosophy at the time, like I didn't want to do anything extraordinary. I wanted to go to school, get a good job, just kind of have a basic life. And I tried to go to school. I signed up, I paid for the classes, everything, But then after a couple weeks, I realized that school and this normal path everyone else was doing was not for me. I needed something else. And so I dropped that. And then I wanted to get a serious job. I was the manager at the frozen custard shop at the time, and I wanted to level up. So I got my first adult job, just a basic 9 to 5, and I worked this for a little bit. I got the feeling of being an adult, what everyone else is doing, and you know what? I absolutely hated it. I hated it with a passion, man. Ever since I got really into fitness, I built my physique. My subconscious goal, what I really wanted to do, was actually become a personal trainer. And not just that, ever since I could remember, I watched these other YouTubers like Brandon Carter, Kino Body, people like this, making money off their physique, training people online, selling programs, and they had a passion for it, and they were doing really, really well with it. That was my dream, but for some reason, I thought I could literally never do something like that. Like, I would try, but there was this disconnect. There was almost something blocking me, something stopping me from actually being able to do this, and it took me so long. And having this belief in my head that literally I cannot do it made it very, very difficult to actually get started with this, man. So I was working this job, this 9 to 5, and I was hating my life. And I had the goal to eventually work up to that, where I'm training people, I have this online business, everything. This was my dream, but I did not know how to do it. So my very logical mind was like, okay, we need to do one step at a time. So the first step was to get my certification and start training people in person. I needed actual experience underneath the belt, work with people in person, teach them how to get aesthetic, how to get sexy, and this was going to be the way. So what I actually did, I quit my 9 to 5 on the spot. No savings, nothing. And I quit on a very, very busy day where I pissed off everybody there, probably definitely burned some bridges. If I put them down as a reference, I'm not sure if they would refer me, but I was one of the best employees, besides that incident. Now, I actually quit this job immediately because I was working nearly 60 hours a week and I didn't ever have enough free time to where I could actually study to get my personal training certificate. So I quit that, and then I just obsessively studied for a couple weeks, and then I went into the testing center and I passed my certification to become an ACE certified trainer, which is the American Council of Exercise, and that is where I get my certification from. And then I started training people immediately. I started doing this for a while, man. I started working with over 50 clients every single week. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. I would wake up Monday through Saturday at 4 a.m. I would go to the gym, train people off and on in spurts, and then I eventually worked up to where I literally was training people at my apartment gym, number 1. Number 2, I had another job, and number 3, I was actually working the main personal training job. So I had 3 different personal training gigs going, and I was just grinding, man. 4 a.m. to usually I would stop working at like 8 or 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. It was awesome. Like, really, I love training people. I love working with them in person, but this was draining me. And I was still in the place I didn't really want to be, and so many trainers and just people in general, they get caught up, man. Like, your hometown, it can sometimes be like a black hole. Like, it's hard to get out. And not just that, you think you can never get out. You think that these people online, like, literally, like, living their dream lives, they just have it easy. Their parents gave them everything. Whatever it is. Man, I never had a single handout. Nobody helped me with anything, even if they tried to. I would not accept that, man. You need to have some pride. Like, if you're gonna do something like this, it better come from you. You better put the work in and actually become the type of person to be able to do something like this. So, what I did is I worked as a personal trainer for a while. I saved up some money, and then once I felt comfortable, I quit everything, broke things off, got a one-way ticket to Asia, and this is when I officially started my personal training business. I got back into modeling. I started doing all of this stuff that I was dreaming about. But here's the catch. I did not blow up immediately. My business was struggling for years. I posted hundreds of YouTube videos. Hundreds. Like, literally, I was posting every single day for years. No recognition. Barely any followers, barely any views, but I kept posting, I kept providing free content, and I struggled and struggled for years until I accidentally made it with over 1,000 YouTube videos just for people to say, oh, you're lucky, Austin, you only made it because you're attractive and 6'6". That's why you're successful now. It's like, they don't see what actually goes into it. They don't see the buildup and how hard you have to work sometimes to actually get from point A to point B. I had literally sacrificed everything. I sold everything. I had no idea how to build up any of this. I had no idea how to start YouTube videos. I was terrible on YouTube. For the first 100 videos, I'd be stuttering. I'd be shaking. I couldn't post onto YouTube. I'm not an extroverted person, and I'm not a talkative person. Usually I hate talking, man. In social situations, I barely will even talk. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I started doing it because I wanted to help people, and that's been the goal of this YouTube channel. That's been the goal of my career ever since I started this stuff, to help people. So if you're watching this, maybe you've always wanted to start YouTube, maybe you just didn't know anything about me. That's kind of my basic life story, man. Maybe it will inspire you to level up, and just keep in mind, I spent most of my childhood invisible, overweight, struggling with confidence, and I built all this stuff up from scratch, man. If I can do it, literally, you can do it too. Even my height. People think, oh, your height is genetic. My height was not genetic. I was supposed to be about 6 feet tall. Because my parents are both about 5'8", 5'9", but I grew to 6'6" because of the obsession with actual health optimization. That's the key. Whatever you're doing, you need to be obsessed. You need to know this is the one and only option. I did not have a backup plan. There was no one I could go to and ask for money, and I was not going to do that anyways. Like, there was no other options available, but you know why I actually ended up succeeding? It's because I had the skill set. If you don't have the skill set, if you don't have the step-by-step protocols, the processes to actually do it, it probably won't work, man. You got to plan everything out meticulously and then make sure there is no plan B in no way to actually fail. That's it though, man. Subscribe if you're new. Love you with all my heart. Peace.